Welcome to this YouTube video where we will be covering the calculations for altering product concentrations for specifically ointments and pastes. This altering of product concentration does not apply to every semi-solid formulation for example, fusion gels and creams. No. We are looking at formulations that we can easily manipulate the API to have quarter strength, double strength, or half strength of the active ingredients while maintaining the integrity of the dosage form. So in this recording, we'll be looking at how to document in your calculations table, how to alter the product concentration, and maintain the ratio of the base ingredients so that the dosage form itself does not change or is compromised. Now, the model formulation we're looking at is Resorcinol and Sulphur paste. This is the original formulation taken from the Cooper and Guns, which is precipitated sulfur 50 grams, Resorcinol 50 grams, zinc oxide 400 grams, and emulsifying ointment 500 grams. Now, the active therapeutic agents are precipitated sulfur and Resorcinol. The zinc oxide, yes, has an absorbent kind of effect, but it's not the primary active ingredient. And by definition, a paste has a high proportion of solid. And so the zinc oxide is really giving that paste-like feature to the dosage form. And the ointment base, emulsifying ointment, is the carrier for the overall preparation. So when we get a request to alter a product concentration, so we're given the master formula and the request says half strength. It may be quarter strength, it may be double strength. If it's half strength, we're pretty much putting in half the sulfur and the Resorcinol. So straight away we would have seen that in the master formula we're moving from 50 grams to 25 grams. But what if it was requesting for quarter strength? Then we are multiplying by 0.25, which is a quarter. And so that now would take, if we should multiply 50 by 0.25, and I'm doing it real time, we'll be getting 12.5 grams in the adjusted master formula for the active ingredient individually. If it was double strength, then we'd multiply the 50 times 2 to make it 100 grams. And so what we're doing now is, if we're altering the two API, we want to redistribute the proportions which are taken from the active or added to the active and adjust the zinc oxide and the emulsifying ointment without compromising the formulation, so the paste dosage form integrity remains intact. Now the prescription calls for 30 grams, and in the style of compounding we make for excess product. Now this paste dosage form is very sticky and very difficult to recover from the ointment tile or your mixing vessel. And so we normally make 20% extra. So 20% of 30 grams is 36 grams that we'll be making for this prescription. Now, there are different approaches that can be taken, and so I'm going to do 3 short videos for the documentation and have this in a playlist by itself. So this is the first recording, and we're doing the introduction and approach number 1. Then we're going to end the recording and do subsequent 2 recordings, very short videos in the playlist for 2 other approaches. In this approach, we are going to look at recreating the master formula, but looking at it from a percentage expression. So if you look back at the master formula, it is 50 grams, 400, and 500. But we can easily convert that into percentage, right? So 50 over 1,000, because the formulation adds up to 1,000, is 5%. And Resorcinol is 5%. Whereas the zinc oxide is 40% and the emulsifying ointment 50%. Some people may look at the formulation more relatable in percentage format, and hence I'm having this recording for that perspective. So straight away we see that the active ingredients occupy 10% of the recipe. Now, if we're going to be doing half strength, then we can foresee that the altered product will have 5% in the newly created master formula. The base will be 90%, and so we can also appreciate that the base will now be changed to 95% in the altered formulation. So looking at it from percentage can make it more relatable to some persons. So let's look at it. We're being asked for half strength, and so half meaning 0.5. So when we multiply 5 by 0.5, we get 2.5%. So here it is that the resorcinol and sulfur each will be occupying 2.5%, which culminates or adds up to 5%. It means, therefore, that the zinc oxide and emulsifying ointment will now, in the adjusted master formula, occupy 95% of the recipe. How do we redistribute what we've taken from the API? Because to halve the formulation means we're removing API and we're reallocating the portions to the base ingredients. Now, let's look at this. The zinc oxide is a part of the base. The base in the original recipe adds up to 90. The base in the new formula adds up to 95. So it's an easy ratio and proportion. No need to confuse yourself. 40 over 90 was the original, so therefore how much will be in the new 95? And we get 42.22%. The emulsifying ointment is 50 over 90 times 95 because you're looking at the newly created base, 52.78%. Now, when you look at it, this is the new master formula for the half strength formulation. Persons may say, why are we recreating the new master formula? In your compounding logbooks, you'll have this as a one-time calculation that you'll be using for the rest of your professional time if you are going to be compounding half strength resorcinol. So recreating the master formula is always my first thing to do. So just for comparison, look at what the original was. 5%. 5%, the API was 10%. The zinc oxide was 40 and 50, which adds up to 90%. And in new formulation, we're having 5% total for the API and 95 for the active ingredient. All right, so now look back. The prescription asked for 30 grams of resorcinol. There we go. So this is where it gets real organized in your calculation table. Some persons may say, how do I document this in your calculation table? The calculation table is made up of rows and columns. The ingredients is in the first column. The master formula is typically in the second column, but here it's the half strength formulation, and it is important for you to document this because it's not the original recipe. So if you look, we have the percentage of the new ingredients, 2.5, 2.5, 42.22, 52.78, and it must add up to 100%. Now, to do the calculation, 20% excess is made for paste. So we'll say 30 plus 20 over 100 times 30 would give you 6 grams, so that's 36 grams. Or I like to put 120 over 100 times 36 times 30. Let me just fix this for you. Here, times 30. There we go. Times 30 to give you 36 grams. And so the sulfur will be 2.5% of this 36 gram. So 2.5 over 100 times 36 is 0.9 grams. So that's why this column here, quantity used, has 0.9 gram. The resorcinol is the same calculation, so it's 0.9 grams as well. But let's look at the zinc oxide. The zinc oxide would now have been 42.22 in 100 gram. So therefore, how much is in 36? And so our answer is 15.20 gram. Here, we then move to say how much emulsifying ointment will we need. We know 52.78 in 100, so how much is in 36 gram? We get 19. Importantly, Whenever you write your new formula, you should always add it to make sure it adds up to 36 grams. And this is how you can spot if you have any calculation error. So 0.9 plus 0.9 plus 15.2 plus 19 gives you 36 grams. So you would have here mix and package. Let's add our statement. Mix and package 30 grams for the patient, right? That's what we will be doing. Now, that takes us through the calculation for altering a product and looking at the recipe using the percentage expression. And to me, this is relatable and really simple, but different students learn in different ways. And so we will be taking up the recording with another version where we look at a different perspective. Not percentage, but keeping the formula in its original metric quantities and altering the product from that perspective. So see you on the next playlist. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to like if you find the content beneficial and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you.